Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the Ratliff Mandolins Weekly Production Diary. And we'll pick right up where we left off last week, which was we were getting ready to glue the top on the sides for this K4 Mandocello copy that we're making. And indeed we did glue that top on the sides. And so we'll pick up this week with some footage of it coming out of the prop bar deck. And so let's run that right now. The prop bar deck, commonly known as a go bar deck, I think for most folks, is the way that I usually glue tops on sides. And here's a shot of the Mandocello having those prop sticks taken off, and we're ready to take it out of the prop bar deck. As you can see, the spreader bars are holding the instrument in the mold, and they indeed are ready to be removed. After that, it's time to take the body out of the mold, and once it pops out of there, we have an instrument. No neck or back, of course, but it's still an instrument. The excess spruce overhanging the sides has to be trimmed off now. This instrument is going to have F holes instead of an oval hole. I don't have any fancy jigs to cut those F holes, so I'm just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, by hand. And the only way I know is to drill a couple of holes in the right spot and dive right in with the razor knife. And here's a quick shot of the finished F holes. Well, they're not really finished, they're not sanded or anything, but the bulk of the wood has been roughly carved out anyhow. And now it's time to start work on the scroll. We saw out the scroll button. And there is the finished product without the arches carved into the scroll. But it is ready for that initial rough carving of the arches in the scroll. Here's another shot of that same job. Roughing the scroll down, just a different angle. As you can see, when I use the term rough carving, I'm not kidding, it's pretty rough. But with scrapers and 60 grit sandpaper, you can get things reasonably smooth. And now it's time to get started on the binding channel. And so now I'm working on the whole binding channel. This thing is going to have 3-ply binding, and the way I normally do that is one tall piece of outer binding and then a shorter piece of the inner plies. So I have to have a ledged, routed out spot, and I'm having to do it all by hand because I don't have any jigs set up to do Mandocello binding. So we have to cut the entire slot around here for the upright binding, and then we have to go back and recut everything for the shorter inserted 3-ply stuff. So I have all of the binding slot cut for the regular piece of black outer binding, and I'm about halfway done with that plied ledge. So it'll probably take me the better part of Monday to finish all this up and get it all cleaned and ready. But I should be able to get the first piece of binding on this particular instrument Monday afternoon, or at worst, probably Tuesday morning. So that's where we're going to start next week. Thank you so very much for sticking with us all the way to the end of this video. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and be sure to leave us a comment down below. I always appreciate those comments, and hopefully you'll be back with us again next week as we come up with another episode for the Ratliff Mandolins Weekly Production Diary series. Join us then, won't you?